news your way. Join in on the conversation with MyFox Memphis on Twitter and Facebook. Your two-screen experience starts now.
Some hot-button issues on the table today as the Memphis City Council meets for the first time this year. Good morning. I'm Valerie Calhoun. Today, leaders could make a decision regarding those rideshare services like Uber and Lyft. And they're also talking about the firing of 2 city council staffers. Scott Mattis joins us live downtown with more on all of this. Scott, good morning.
Good morning, Valerie. Yeah, things are set to kick off here inside City Hall, inside Council Chambers here shortly this afternoon. And I can tell you, we've been reporting about Uber and Lyft here in the city of Memphis and really all across the country and what they're doing for quite some time now. Quite obviously, the city of Memphis, with their regulations and enforcement, they don't like what's going on because there's so many things associated with that you would have to take into consideration, such as background checks for drivers, licensing, etc. And apparently, as we're hearing from some people, some of these drivers, well, they're increasing their rates based on need, which is, of course, something that taxi cabs in the city of Memphis nor anywhere are allowed to do by law. So once and for all, as they're going to bring it up today inside this first meeting with City Council here in 2015 is what can we do about this so we can stop the back and forth, so we can just get something on the books possibly at some point in the near future to make this legal and to make it work for everybody. So I know a lot of people are excited about that, as so many people, despite what the city is saying, still uses these apps like Uber and whatnot. So anyway, the bottom line of that story is that will be talked about at length, quite obviously. And then, like you said, Valerie, another one of the hot button issues was 2 city council employees were actually let go of their position last week, and that caught a lot of people off guard, specifically the 2 that were released for quite a number of reasons. Some on the opposite side of this say, well, nobody followed protocol as it pertains to letting somebody go within the city of Memphis. While those on the flip side of that say, hey, we're having budgetary problems right now in these jobs, what we can do without them to save that cold hard cash. So really a lot going on inside City Council today, Valerie. Quite obviously, so many other things will be brought up. And of course, Fox 13 News, as we have, will continue to cover this developing story. So stay with us both on air and online. For now, live downtown at City Hall, Scott Mattis, Fox 13 News.
All right, Scott. Well, one very interested observer in today's City Council proceedings will be the superintendent of Shelby County Schools, Dorsey Hobson. Now, Hobson says, although he doesn't know if the council will accept the school funding settlement that he reached with the mayor, he says the alternative for the city in court could end up costing the city even more. In an interview with Fox 13 News this morning, Hobson told us the city would be getting a discounted rate if they accept the settlement, in which Memphis would pay $43 million and provide other amenities like paying for police and schools. But Hobson says if the council pushes for the case to go to trial in April, and should their counterclaim be ruled against, the cost for a judgment would immediately skyrocket.
Then you're going to have possibly an $84 million judgment due, ready to pay. Not going to be a payment plan. And I know as a resident of the city of Memphis who pays taxes here, the city of Memphis cannot afford to pay a lump sum payment of $50, $60, $70, $80 million.
Yeah, Hobson says he's willing to talk with city council members if they ask him so, to do so about the settlement agreement. You can hear more of our interview with the Shelby County School Superintendent tonight on Fox 13 News at 5. Wine in grocery stores. A new bill could allow us to shop for Merlot or Cabernet in the grocery by this summer. A Nashville lawmaker presenting a bill to allow customers to shop for vino this July. That's a full year sooner than is currently under the law. Voters in Memphis and other Shelby County communities approved a referendum back in November to buy wine in grocery stores. And of course, it goes into effect in 2016 unless this bill changes everything. A school bus wreck in DeSoto County this morning. Now, the students are okay, but the bus collided with a motorcycle before 7 this morning in Horn Lake. DeSoto County deputies say that accident shut down part of Goodman Road near Tulane during rush hour. No one on the bus was hurt. That's the good news, but we're told the person on the motorcycle was transported to a local hospital. You know, it was clear and dry out this morning, so it wasn't weather that caused that accident, was it, Joey?
No, I don't believe so, but I understand that a lot of those accidents just happen when it's dry outside and the roadways are actually pretty decent. What's not so decent is what these numbers are doing. Let's check out, though, that beauty shot downtown Memphis. Sky Fox looks good. Right now, let's send it back to you, Val.
All right, well, you just heard Joey. We're expecting an Arctic blast tomorrow with the coldest temps we've seen all year. Here are some tips to help prepare. First of all, if you have a senior or an elderly disabled person, maybe one living alone that you know of, make sure they have something to keep them warm. Never, ever use your oven or stove to warm your home. Why? You could get carbon monoxide poisoning. And experts say simply by opening your cabinets under your faucet and allowing your faucet to drip, you can prevent your pipes from freezing. And last, assume that if it's too cold for you to be outside for long, then it's certainly too cold for your pets. All right. DeSoto County parents boarded a bus early this morning to head to Jackson, Mississippi, the state capital. Why? They're protesting the Common Core academic standards. Today's the first day of the 2015 legislative session, and protesters plan to be inside the State House to appeal to lawmakers to end the controversial standards. The state of Mississippi adopted the federal Common Core standards for kindergarten through 12th grade students back in 2010. Well, he apparently saw himself on television and he knew the jig was up. North Mississippi police say the man who robbed that Circle K over the weekend has turned himself in just hours ago. Horn Lake police say Taji Dorch turned himself in around 2 this morning. Now, they say he saw that surveillance video that we're showing you that shows him robbing the convenience store. Dorch now charged with armed robbery. His bond is set for $100,000. This sounds nice. 7 sports fields, tennis courts, even some outdoor classrooms. It's just a preview of what that proposed Lakeland High School could offer. It will be situated on a 94-acre lot. The Lakeland Prep School would be between the old Brownsville to the north, Highway 70 to the south, and Canada Road to the west. You see it on the map there. Price was a big factor in selecting this property. See, the owner offered it for a flat price of $1 million. 2 years ago, the property appraised for nearly double that. The design includes 7 sports fields, tennis courts, and an environmental study area for the kids.
We look toward the future. We know we're going to need this school at some point. We think we need it sooner rather than later, and that's when we hope to have it. But in terms of acquiring the land, regardless of any opinions to the contrary, we actually have the money in hand, thanks to the reserve.
School board member Matt Wright says the school will be an engine for growth in Lakeland. If you'd like to take another look at the plans, you want to go to the public meeting in Lakeland at the elementary school. It's January 15th. They would love your input. January 15th, 6:30, Lakeland Elementary. All right, pack it up, send it back. Today is UPS National Returns Day. It's the day, they say, when most of us are shipping back those unwanted gifts. UPS says now that the holidays are over, we're all returning to our normal routines, but we're also packing up those unwanted gifts. The shipping company expects to ship more than 800,000 packages back to retailers, and by the end of the week, they say some 4 million packages will be returned, and that is just by UPS, so lots of packages in the system. A wealthy father shot dead. Who the police say the gunman was may shock you. We'll give you this tip. They say it was a family feud. Well, the new year kicks off today on Capitol Hill. A leadership vote threatens Republican House Speaker John Boehner's job security. Fox 13's Washington correspondent Kyla Campbell has more on the political challenge and the congressional agenda.
A CNN in Washington, Kyla Campbell, Fox 13 News.
Well, we've got pretty skies out there at the moment, but those skies are going to be filled with cold air molecules very, very soon. That's right now, folks. Stay safe over the next 48 hours. Stay inside if you can. Keep your TV tuned right here. Now let's send it back to Val.
All right, across America, fight over an allowance. And now a man is dead. A hedge fund founder, the father, is dead at the hand of his son. That's what New York police say. The son is 30 years old. Thomas Gilbert Jr. He's pleaded not guilty, but police say he murdered his father, shot him dead Sunday. Witnesses say Gilbert was at the family's skyrise apartment when the crime happened, and the two were arguing over the 30-year-old son's allowance. Well, we still have a manhunt underway in New York this morning where 2 officers were shot last night in the Bronx. They were responding to a robbery call. Now, the officers are in the hospital right now, both in critical but stable condition. They will survive, we're told. But police say the cops were not targeted. They just happened to show up as a crime was being committed. And they say the suspect shot them. Now investigators looking for not 1 but 2 suspects, and still not a whole lot of information being released. You know, a quick change into a hoodie sweatshirt may be all you need to stay warm inside this winter. But while for some it's a fashion statement or maybe just staying warm, others call it criminal clothing. Fox 13's Greg Coy gets reactions from the chilly streets of Memphis.
The hoodie is one of the most popular items at the Tiger bookstore. I'm Greg Coy, Fox 13.
All right, folks, do you have asthma? I do. And I got to tell you, when it's cold, it's tough. We'll show you how to minimize your asthma or breathing issues during the colder months. That's up next. Asthma. Asthma affects more than 22 million Americans of all ages, and it can be challenging, even dangerous, especially for people who don't take care of themselves. Even worse, cold weather like we're about to experience can make asthma even worse. Fox 13's Wendy Nations has more.
Asthma affects more than 22 million Americans, and it could be dangerous, even challenging for asthmatics who don't take proper care of themselves.
Here's what we're working on for this evening. Mississippi, the latest state trying to smoke out the law. Fox 13's Tom Dees has more on a pot petition that's circulating in the Magnolia State. We'll be right back. All right, folks, just a reminder, there is a job fair happening right this minute. Wynn Job Center hosting the event until 4 o'clock today. We're told they have several major recruiting and staffing companies there. Be sure to bring your resume and your can-do attitude, and as always, dress for success. Here's where you go. It is, I can't read that, 7320 Highway 51 in South Haven. There we go.
There it is.
The Wynn Center.
Yeah.
All right, so a good day for this, sunny and not too cold.
No, today's the day to go.
Right.
Because when you bundle up like Randy in a Christmas store and you can't put your arms down, it's hard to find your resume. Hey, folks, if you think it's cold today, boom, look at Wednesday. 26 for a high, 28 Thursday. And Val, I was looking at some of the overnight numbers. Sure. Wednesday night, Thursday night, the wind chill could get to 0. And we've got a chance of some snow on Sunday, but we're going to make more of a statement about that in a few days as all of our models can get more in line. So right now, the real focus is bundling up Wednesday, Thursday.
Wednesday, Thursday, and then keep your fingers crossed on Sunday.
We might
if you want the snow, keep your fingers crossed.
So many of us do. It's a possibility. Start putting the spoons under the pillows, flushing the ice cubes.
Ice cubes in the toilet. All right, thanks, Joey. And thank you for joining us. Join Merle and Greg tonight at 5 and have a super day. Dish Nation up next.